Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is George Horattas, and I am with the Mount Elliott Cemetery Association. And a little bit about our company. We are a not-for-profit company. We are and all the money comes back into the cemeteries. So if you've ever been to one of our properties, you'll notice how beautiful they are. We're run by a board of trustees that make our financial decisions equally. We are not for profit. We cannot be bought or sold. And we've been operating this way since 1841 with an impeccable reputation. Our first cemetery was Mount Elliott. Then we have Mount Olivet in Detroit, and Resurrection Cemetery in Clinton Township, which is where I'm based out of. We also have Guardian Angel in Oakland Township. We have All Saints in Waterford, and we also have the first certified green cemetery in Michigan. So what I do for the company is I help the families who walk through our doors, whether they've had a death or they're pre-planning. I try to do as much as I can to teach husbands and wives to pre-plan. I usually share my own story, and you're wondering how someone can get into this field. Well, I was raised in bars and restaurants. That's what my family had. And when I was around 40, I was looking for something different to do. I was tired of always being in the kitchen and working all the time, and it worked my youth away. So my mother had passed away at 61 years old from cancer, and we had nothing prepared. And me as the eldest son, my father didn't speak good English, so me as the eldest son had to go and look up my mom's friend who worked at a cemetery to get all these arrangements made. And it just spoke to me. It's just something I felt I had to do, and I've been doing it for 23 years. So I tell husbands and wives, you make a lot of decisions together your whole life. You decide, you plan your wedding, you plan where you're going to live, you plan your jobs, you plan for your retirement, you plan your family. Things like burial and funerals should be planned together. You would never want your spouse to go to the cemetery alone and do this on the worst day of their life, and you don't want your kids doing it. I was one of those kids that had to do it, and it was one of the worst experiences in my life. So, it's important to do this together as a couple. I often, when I say that you planned your wedding, I often tell people, when you plan a wedding, you pretty much take about a year. You're planning things like meal, church, clothes, music, flowers. Well, in a lot of those things you're doing when a death has occurred, but you don't get a year. You have to do it within a few days. So, another reason why it's just so important to pre-plan. Now, I have a lot of people who, give me objections. I'm being cremated. I don't have to pre-plan. Well, yes, you do, because you still have to go through a licensed funeral director to plan your cremation, and that can be pre-planned. Now, if you follow the Catholic religion, you definitely have to have some type of cemetery property. The Catholic religion does not want ashes being scattered, separated, or sitting on a mantle at home. There has to be a burial, consecrated grounds at a cemetery. So, yes, you still have some pre-planning to do with cremation. I have a lot of people who tell me, well, I don't have to pre-plan because I have life insurance. Well, I bought my life insurance to replace my income when something happens to me. Life insurance you don't get right away. Cemeteries and funerals are requiring their money to be paid before the burial can occur. So another reason why it's good to pre-plan. A lot of people don't realize that cemetery property goes up every year. Every 10 years, it doubles. When you pre-plan, you lock the price in for that year, and you can take your time paying for it. We just, you put a small deposit, and we send you home with payment coupons. There's no bank to deal with or anything. We just send, it's a courtesy we have that we just send you home with payment coupons. And don't tell anyone I told you, but we're lenient. If you have a tough month or you can't send in your full payment, we're very easy to deal with. But you didn't hear it from me. So a lot of people don't realize that if you don't pre-plan and you wait to buy your cemetery property when something happens, it's cash up front. The money is due before the burial can occur. And we don't do that because we're mean. We do that because we don't have any recourse should someone not pay. It's just how cemeteries have been running since the turn of the century. I always tell people, you work so hard for your money all your life. Pre-plan and lock the price in. Don't give it to us that year's price when you need it. It just doesn't make sense. It only harms yourself. A lot of people will tell me, well, I can't pre-plan. I have to talk to my kids. Well, I understand that. You're going to get two reactions, one of two reactions from your kids. One is, gee, Mom and Dad, that's great. Do what you have to do. I'm glad you're doing it. That's great. The other reaction is someone's going to freak out. Don't do that. We'll take care of it. Well, they don't want to think about you dying. But if that child can't fathom the fact of you pre-planning your cemetery when you're alive and well, is that the child that you want at the cemetery on the worst day of their life making your decisions? Absolutely not. So another reason. And then when you put all the kids together, making these decisions, I've seen it before, it happened with us, everyone's grieving at a different speed, and there's tension, and there's disagreements. And so it's natural that would happen. So teaching pre-planning has really become a passion for me. I extend, anyone can call me anytime. I don't care if they're coming to our cemeteries or not, if they feel that they have questions or, a lot of people call me and say, I don't have a florist or I don't know where to have a luncheon. Call me. You can always call me for that. My phone number, by the way, is 586-226-3401. Now, a lot of people will tell me I don't want to buy my cemetery property yet because I don't know what I want. Well, that's all the more reason to come in and let me give you a tour. The tour costs nothing and you're not under any obligation to do anything. But at least I can take you around and show you what options you have. And then you can start ruling out what you don't like and then kind of noticing what might work for you. So the tour is valuable. When you do come in for a tour, I also give you this pre-planning, personal pre-planning organizer. And this book is just worth $1 million if it's written into. And in this book you can record all vital information. When I first got into cemetery, I was just trying to learn my job, and I was told to give this book out to everybody. Well, early on, I was taking care of a woman who went to my church, and she was dying from cancer and wanted to get all her ducks in a row, and I gave her this book. When she had passed away, her daughter came in to finalize some things for her mom's headstone, and she said, you gave my mom that book, and I never had to think. My mother had it all filled out. And I thought, well, there's something to this book. So there's a page in the book for you to record all the information that's asked for a death certificate and an obituary. So a lot of your kids don't know a lot of that information. There's a page in the book, where are your important papers? If it's shoebox in the closet, you'll write shoebox in the closet. Who are the people that are going to have to, your kids are going to have to reach for things about your finances, your funeral, your burial, your lawyer, your accountant. There's a page in this book for listing your life insurance policies. There's millions of dollars in unclaimed life insurance because no one ever knew that the policy existed. So here you can record that information. There's a page in here for about Social Security benefits, veterans benefits. There's a page in here for people that you may want contacted that your kids may not know about. When my mother passed, I thought we reached everyone to let her know that she passed. But when Christmas time came, we were getting Christmas cards from people that we forgot about. Maybe they were out of state. So another page in here that's valuable. One of my favorite pages is what do you want for your burial, your funeral. There, you can list what clothes you want. You can list what flowers, what songs, any special wishes that you want about your funeral and burial can be put in here. And I'd be happy to get you this book. So I appreciate you being with me today. I hope that I've enlightened you a little more as to the importance of pre-planning. My phone number is 586-226-3401. And thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good day.